This has to be one of the biggest updates I have ever seen covering Brawl Stars, and I'm going to break it down for you frame by juicy frame so that you know everything that we can share right now. We'll talk about all the gadgets that they showed, as well as some that they didn't even mean to show that they did. Both of the new Brawlers, yeah, I got you covered there too. 8 new skins, more like 7. Some new maps, some new environments, reworks to old environments, new challenges coming, tickets are going away, everything that you want to know that you could have learned in Brawl Talk, but they didn't tell you, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now. Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another Brawl Stars video, and today, Brawl Talk just dropped. Now, there is a ridiculous amount of information that I have unpacked from this 2.5-minute video. I'm not going to dilly-dally around. I'm going to hit you with all the information as quick as I possibly can, because why bore you to death when I'll be able to give you all the confirmed info very soon in these sneak peeks that are coming up very soon. And if you want to be one of the very first people to know exactly what's coming in the update, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you will know exactly what is coming in the next Brawl Stars update, and it is a ton. Probably the newest and by far the biggest game-changing feature that we have seen in Brawl Stars in a long time are gadgets. Gadgets are unlocked at level 7, and you can think of them as a star power sort of, but they're a brand new ability that you gain. And unlike star powers, they're not just mainly passive, they are an active star power that you engage yourself. Now, you're going to get gadgets out of the shop, just like you would a star power, either through a box or by spending your coins. So if you've been saving up those coins and those gems, now might be a good time to invest some of them in these gadgets because they are game-changing. But if you're going to be spending any gems in Brawl Stars, be sure to use code LEX in the shop, because it does help support me, my family, and this channel to keep bringing you guys the content and info that you love. So, use code LEX. So let's talk about each of the gadgets that they showed, as well as some that they didn't even mean to show. First off, let's take a look at Brock. Now, as you can see on the left here, he is walking upwards and to the left, and then he uses his gadget, which then launches himself into the air, and propels himself the direction he is moving. Next up is Dynamite. He absolutely loses his mind, spins in a circle, because that's what Dynamite does. He's a spinner. He spins in the circle and just chucks dynamite everywhere. Now, none of these dynamite sticks actually connect with a target, so we don't know how much damage that they do, but there are a lot of them, so I would assume that they do less damage than a normal dynamite shot. Once I can give you the actual info on how much damage they do, I'll be sure to let you know. Next up is Rico and his bouncing shots. As you can see, shots just explode every which way from him and bounce all over the place, and it looks like each ball does 320 damage each. Now, Spikes at first blush looks really OP because he has 10 spikes that shoot out in all directions from him. Each spike does 520 damage, and there is at least 2 waves of needles that come from him. Jeans is really cool because it does pushback. It doesn't do any damage, but as you can see, those brawlers are pushed away from him. El Primo's is a little more mysterious because, as you can see, 2 Primos are fighting, but you see the animation from the blue Primo. He's the one who actually engages that animation. So it's not like the red one is jumping. It's like the blue one engages a gadget, and he kind of does he throw the other Primo? He's a wrestler, so that would make sense. Maybe a body slam or a pile drive or something. We don't see the end of the throw, so I'm assuming it's probably going to do some damage, but it looks like Primo is going to have a throw or a body slam or something of that sort. Max's looks pretty straightforward. She gets a shield. We don't know how much damage it reduces and don't know how long it exactly lasts, but Max does get a shield whenever she engages her gadget. Now, Penny's is pretty straightforward as well. When she uses her gadget, her turret explodes, destroying walls along with it. Pretty awesome. Carl's is pretty interesting as well. It looks like he leaves a trail of fire behind himself, because there's no Brock around. That looks like the incendiary star power, but it looks like he's leaving these little patches of fire behind himself. 8-Bits is one of the coolest because 8-Bit can now teleport. He can teleport with his gadget. As you can see, he's away from his turret. He uses the gadget and he teleports right back to his turret. Now, the turret is destroyed in the process, but that is really, really cool for a brawler who has almost no mobility to be able to teleport across the map. Now, does it work with line of sight? How far do you get before you can still use your gadget? I'm sure there's some limitations, and I'll tell you all about that soon, but 8-Bit is going to be able to teleport. This one is also going to be really fun because Mortis looks like he has a whirlwind with that shovel. He spins, whacking everybody around him, and it's doing 1,300 damage per shovel whack. Now this one they didn't specifically show in the gadget section, but later on in the video, you can look at the new Brawler Jacky, and she has a gadget that when she engages it, she gets a speed boost. You can see it here in Brawl Ball. She engages that gadget, gets a speed boost, and gets it all the way up there near the goal. Now, there were 3 other gadgets that were shown on the thumbnail of the Brawl Talk video. None of these gadgets, at least as far as I can tell, directly correlate to the brawlers that were shown in the video. This first one has to be a Bo gadget, right? I mean, it looks just like his hat. Bo is going to be getting his gadget. Of course, this is the icon for that. At least that's my guess. What will that do? You guys leave me some comments down below what you think that these 3 gadgets are exactly going to do, and who do you think that they belong to? The next one is clearly Mr. P. I mean, it's a porter, and he looks like he's very angry. So I would assume that Mr. P's gadget is going to have something to do with his porters. Is it going to make his porter station, you know, deal more damage or spawn porters quicker? Mr. P's gadget has to do with his porters or his porter station. And this last one, it's hard to say exactly which one this one is. But the first thing that came to mind with this gadget, the look of it, made me think of Rosa. That's what this looks like, is a gadget for probably Rosa would be my best guess, but maybe the other new brawler, because he has to do, whatever, has to do with plants as well. As we're going to get to those new brawlers right now. So they showed 2 new brawlers in this Brawl Talk. The first of those new brawlers is named Jacky. Jacky seems like she's going to be a very simple brawler to play, but does look very strong. Of course, we've already talked that her gadget gives her a speed boost, and I think this really benefits her as a brawler because she has to be close to other brawlers to be able to do her damage. Speaking of damage, there is some discrepancy in this video on how much damage that she does. Sometimes it's 1,840 damage. Sometimes it's 1,420. I think that the most likely cause for the discrepancy in the damage numbers is because they were still balancing the brawler in the dev build when they captured some of this footage. So the only other thing that made any sense to me was at one point there was 2 brawlers in a range, a Carl and an 8-bit. Carl took 1,840 damage and 8-bit took 1,420 damage. Carl was a little bit closer, so maybe because it's a jackhammer, whoever's closer to her takes more damage than the brawler further away. My speculation is that the wildly differing numbers are just because of differences in the dev build and the balancing that they were doing, and it was taking over different, periods of time. So I think that she's going to do 1,840 damage per shot in an AoE, and it looks like the diameter of that AoE is approximately 6.5 tiles wide. So not real huge, but it's not real small either. So you will have to get in range of somebody to be able to do that damage. But luckily for you, her super does just that for you. Her super, when it's activated, she pulls all these brawlers in a pretty wide range and pulls them to herself. Of course, that makes her very vulnerable to attacks because, hey, you just pulled everybody right close to you. So to combat that, it looks like she gets a shield. And as you can see, the damage reduction here looks like it's going to be 50% damage reduction. Of course, all of these numbers are subject to change. Whenever they release Brawl Talks, usually numbers vary from what actually gets released. But from what we can see right here, it looks like the shield is going to reduce the damage taken by Jacky. So you pull everybody close to you and you jackhammer the crap out of them. Maybe it's just me, but I can't wait to play that because that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. My question is, can Jacky's shots pass through walls? I mean, it's a jackhammer. It's a shockwave, right? It's on the ground. Can she attack from the other sides of walls? Whenever she has her 1v1 interaction with every other brawler in Brawl Stars, you'll see it right here on this channel, and I'll bring you all the information on Jacky as soon as possible. But she's not the only brawler. Oh, no. At the very end of the video, it looks like we've got a second brawler, and its name is, we don't know. But he does have a planting pot for a head, so pothead? No, that's probably not going to work. And I love the little sticky note or the note taped to its face. It has a little expression. Does that expression change whenever it gets, like, is it happy when it kills somebody or is it sad when it dies? I mean, we don't know. We don't know yet. But what we do know about this brawler is that It's going to have 4,200 hit points, and it's going to be a thrower. Now, the shots that it launches looks like it has a pretty decent range, and the shots will hit the ground and then bounce, and then they move forward and explode at the end of the shot. And it does an AoE damage effect, and it does 1,400 damage per shot. Now, also, there was one other time whenever this shot blew up right away when it hit a wall. I think that whenever the shot is thrown or it hits a target, it's going to explode right then, and it's going to take the 1,400 damage. But perhaps the coolest thing about this brawler is that it can create walls. Now, this isn't confirmed, but what it looks like at the very end, they cut it off right after they showed it. He chucked that super, it landed, and things sprouted up from the ground. Now, what exactly are those? Or maybe that's just a slow that people walks through and it blocks off areas, but that's too much like Spike Super. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this brawler is going to build walls. Now, they are plants, so maybe they can be destroyed like attacking them, but a brawler that builds walls has been requested for a very long time, and I think it's a very cool mechanic that we've all wanted to see. I would not have expected to see it in a thrower though, so that's kind of odd, but I think that that's what it's going to be, a brawler that can make walls and block off areas. That is really cool. Next up, let's talk about the skins. Now, they are spreading out this update for this month and April as well. Looks like Jacky is going to be released this month, probably whenever the update releases, and the other brawler is going to be released in April, it looks like. The skins are exactly the same way. Some of them are going to be coming out right away, and some of them will be in April. Now, they said 8 skins, but there's actually only 7. I think that Danny was basically counting the Darryl Remodel as a skin. And it's not really, but I assume that's, I'll forgive you this time, Danny. But Darryl is getting a rework, as you can see right here. We got to see him in action here. It does look really cool. I actually am a big fan of this rework. Speaking of Darryl, he is also getting a skin that is going to be here in March, and that is Mascot Darryl. He's a big soccer ball, and we're going to get to what's happening on the soccer fields here very soon. But Mascot Darryl is just a big soccer ball, and he does have a different animation. As you can see, he's kind of shooting confetti out there. Along with the soccer vibes is PSG Shelly. Now, she has a special challenge that's going to go along with her. We'll talk about that here in a second as well. But it looks like she basically has like a loud horn as a gun. Pretty cool. And we have 2 star skins. We've got College M's and Dark Penny. Now, College M's just looks like a basic recolor. Dark Penny looks really freaking cool. Now, we've already got Dark Jessie, and now we've got Dark Penny. The cousins have gone evil together, and she looks really cool. I really like that one. Now, coming in April, we have 3 more skins. We've got Coach Mike, who he's obviously a soccer coach, and at the very end, just a split second, there's like 3 frames of, it looks like a new animation. It looks like he's throwing soccer balls with his shots. So he's got exploding balls. Also coming in April is going to be, and I hope I'm saying this right, Tanuki Jessie. What's Tanuki? Okay, so Tanuki is a Japanese raccoon dog. There we go. And last is a skin that has been in the works for a very long time. Was designed by Getty Core. Just if you guys know the Brawl Stars community and fan art, you know Getty Core. And here is Horace Bow, going to be coming in April, and it looks just fantastic. Now let's talk about the new and reworked environments. In Brawl Ball, it looks like there's going to be a stadium around the Brawl Ball field. I mean, Colt Crunch as a sponsor. You've got BB's Bubblegum. We've got a robot on the right side that is supposed to be refereeing. That dude's asleep. It looks like a really, really cool stadium for Brawl Ball. And the ball is different too. Yes, please. This is awesome. And the last thing to take a look at here is the PSG challenge. If you win 9 games, all in Brawl Ball, before you lose 4, you will get this Shelly skin for free as a reward for completing a challenge, which I love. They need to bring more challenges into Brawl Stars. It looks like it's the same format as the 15-win challenge, but only 9 wins, and you get a skin at the end of it. That's amazing. But if you don't win, you can still buy the Shelly skin later on in the shop. Speaking of new challenges and things that are changing, they mentioned that tickets are going away. So if you have tickets, please spend your tickets or else they're going to be gone. But that leaves the question, what's going to be replacing the tickets? The tickets are going away. Surely they're not going to just completely destroy those game modes that were there. Maybe they will, but I think that they're going to rework something big, and that information is going to be coming soon, but not in this update. All right, so there's Brawl Talk. I just dropped a ton of information on you guys. Now, again, I will be bringing you all of the full information on everything that is coming into this update over the next month and a half. So you guys be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so I can give you all that information, if you're interested. If not, well then, move along. I hope you enjoyed this video. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next sneak peek.